He's been asked a lot recently about the Packers, why they've been, well, bad. Rodgers got defensive again yesterday, but this time it was scrutiny over his head coach, Mike McCarthy.
I think it's ridiculous. I think people don't understand how difficult it is to win in this league and win consistently. The success that we've had here, it's tough to do, and we've set the standard pretty high. But I wouldn't listen to some of those people out there. I mean, they're not in this locker room, they're not in the media rooms, they're not in the practice environments. They don't know what's going on. They don't know the type of work ethic that we have here and that Mike has here.
All right, so things obviously not going so hot for Rodgers in the Pack right now. And a handful of ESPN insiders graded his season so far, ranging from a C to a B. Max, what would you grade Rodgers' season so far?
Well, anyone who gives him a C or a B is wrong. It's an A-. Rodgers gets an A-. This is very
A-?
straightforward. Yeah. Hey, smart kids out there, you know what I'm talking about. I used to sometimes hand in a paper in school, in elementary school, whatever, junior high school, and it would come back a B+. And I would think, come on, that's an A+ paper. well, yeah, great, versus your potential, I'm giving you a bit. No, you don't do that. You grade it compared to everybody else in the class.
Okay.
And compared to everybody else in the class, Aaron Rodgers gets an A-. Compared to his own potential, look, it's Aaron Rodgers in his best season. 14-1 team record, as a starter. QBR of 86, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Okay. That was when he was clearly and by far the best player in football, yes, including Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback ever. But at that moment, Aaron Rodgers, the best player in football. He is not that now. So if you want to grade him compared to that version of him, he gets a B+ or something like that. But if you want to grade him compared to everyone else, Stephen A., 22 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 1 game out of first place, a QBR of 72, which is the 6th best QBR in football. Now let's do this scientifically, shall we? A, B, C, D, F. There are 5 categories, okay, and 32 teams, therefore 32 starting quarterbacks. Roughly 6 in each category. So if you are in the top 6, you are in the low end of A. He is a low A quarterback this year. He can't play defense for them too, just can't do it. But he's not what he once was, but he is better than most. The only guys better than him this year are all in the MVP conversation. The A's and A+ so far this year. Matt Ryan, Dak Prescott on a per-game basis, Tom Brady, Matt Stafford, those guys are ahead of him. Drew Brees, he's ahead of everybody else.
First of all, you're wrong. Secondly, I would give him a B. Thirdly, you're absolutely right about your point that you're not grading him against his potential, because that would be foolish. But you have every right to grade him against a resume he has already established. That's not potential. That's fact. That's what he has put forth before our very eyes for years and years and years. And by virtue of your sheer concession that he is not what he used to be, that automatically disqualifies him from any kind of A grade, plus, minus, or regular. It doesn't apply. Let's go to the B range. Let's call this what it is. Aaron Rodgers, and I keep getting on you. I can't believe with those eyes you don't use the eye test. You read numbers all the time, and I get that. I just cannot believe you still have not leaned on the eye test. I don't understand. I need these.
Are you falling in love with me or something?
I need these. You're one person. If you had glasses, something would be wrong. Something would be wrong with this world, okay? You don't need them. But listen, here's the deal. We have seen Aaron Rodgers miss passes. We've seen him overthrow. We've seen him underthrow. Whether it's to Jordy Nelson, it's to Randall Cobb, it's to Devontae Adams, or anybody else, we have seen this man miss throws he has customarily and religiously made for years and years and years. He doesn't appear to be the same. Does that mean he can't go back to being Aaron Rodgers? Of course he can go back to being Aaron Rodgers. We're just talking about what we've seen from him thus far. Last year, year and a half, he hasn't been himself. Last year, we credited it to Jordy Nelson. To a lesser degree, I think it's still Jordy Nelson, because Jordy Nelson, to me, hasn't returned to the Jordy Nelson we once knew and loved before the injury he sustained last year. Now, let's get to why Aaron Rodgers made the statement that he made in defense of Mike McCarthy, which I also think he's wrong about. If there is one thing that annoys me to the end, is when these guys want to bring up how y'all don't understand how hard we work and what work we put in. Damn it, you know that. You know this is about results. Grow up. You know this is about results. It's about what you do on Sundays and Mondays, or in this day and age, Thursdays. Whenever the hell you're playing your games. You're absolutely right. Aaron Rodgers is absolutely right about me and anybody else he wants to categorize in that fashion. We are not covering their practices. We are not there every day. We are not in film room. We don't. I have no doubt that Mike McCarthy is working his butt off. I think he's a good coach. We're not saying that. What we're saying is the greatness of Aaron Rodgers seems to be being put to waste. Giving up 30 points for the 4th time in the first 9 games, that's your defense. That's not Aaron Rodgers. You're looking at how 71% of the times you're throwing the football, and mind you, it ain't just all about a deficit because you're doing that before halftime as well. They're relying totally on Aaron Rodgers, but they're not getting it done. And I'm looking at Mike McCarthy.
They're 4-5.
Wait a minute.
They're 1 game out of first place.
Time out.
He doesn't play defense.
Wait a minute. Y'all are acting like somebody is saying, Mike McCarthy, you need to get fired. No. What folks are saying is, excuse me, this guy is one of the greatest ever. You are the head coach. Y'all have not been to the Super Bowl since 2010. It does not mean that you're supposed to get there every year, every other year, whatever. We're saying that the quarterback position is so important that if you can go 6 years without this dude, there are several coaches that some of us might look at and say, if they had Aaron Rodgers, it would be a different result. That's the price you pay.
The GM.
That's the price you pay when you have somebody that great. Why y'all acting like y'all don't know this?
That may be a GM issue, not a coach issue, but I want to get back to Aaron Rodgers because the question is, what grade do you give him? And you fell right into it. You started comparing him to a standard of perfection.
I started comparing him to a standard he established.
Right.
He established.
Compared to his own standard.
I don't care who you are.
Compared to the other quarterbacks in the league.
No.
4-5.
I have a right to do that. I have a right to do that. I have a right to look at Aaron Rodgers and say, if you have a right to say that Tom Brady is going to fall off a cliff in 16, 14, 12 months from now, I have a right to sit there and look at Aaron Rodgers and say,
your right to be wrong?
I'm saying, Aaron Rodgers, these are the standards you have set. Has age, attrition kicked in? Are you not what you used to be?
Compared to the best version of himself, he's something less than an A. But if the question is, what grade do you give Aaron Rodgers and all the other quarterbacks this year, that means you're comparing them to each other. A minus, no less.
I can't give someone an A that's 4-5, third in their division.
No. I am not only that.
I can't.
I am not going to ignore the greatness, not only that I saw from Aaron Rodgers throughout all of these years, but what I have come and grown to expect. The fact is that ain't what we're getting. And you're looking at the problems around him, and you're saying, McCarthy, guys, help him out.
This happens in boxing sometimes. In boxing, one fighter's winning every round decisively. The other fighter starts to do better. So relative improvement gives the fighter the round. It's like if Stephen A. comes closer in a debate, people think he won the debate because I'm usually winning by such a wide margin. It's not fair to compare someone to themselves.
All I know is I wish you guys were my teachers because you're demonstrators. Speaking of drugs, coming up after the break, another day and another person taking shots at the NFL. Soon it might be hits from NFL players. You'll understand later. Also, if you liked Bad Santa, you are in luck because there is a Bad Santa 2, folks, and Billy Bob Thornton. He's here to